Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Speak On It weekly recap of the NFL. But this time we're doing it on a Saturday for Wild Card Weekend, day one. I am Podcast Poppy. I'm Dylan Brotto. I'm with Big Brother Steven Brotto, the Sand Viper. Hello.
Hello, Super Wild Card Weekend.
Honorary Brotto boy for the weekend, Big Mike. Hello.
Sir, hello. I'm here.
Welcome to the family. In case you guys didn't know, every time we Mike posts an Instagram story for the Bretto Boys every Sunday, he picks a Bad Bunny song because Steve and I are Puerto Rican, and Mike thinks it's funny.
or he's being racist.
A little bit, just a little bit. The best part about it is, so Mike knows I like Bad Bunny. And then when we play WWE 2K24, I just end up always getting Bad Bunny, and I do a lot of damage with Bad Bunny, and I won some big matches with Bad Bunny. So whenever it rolls, I get Bad Bunny. Mike's just like, what the fuck?
Ridiculous.
Like Mike will get John Cena and like other people, and he'll consider taking those. Then he sees I got Bad Bunny, he goes, nope, John Cena. I'm not dealing with this.
Cena. Must go with John Cena.
With John Chana. What a wild card weekend we have. As you can see, I'm wearing my Jets robe because in the icy tundra that is Kansas City, Missouri, the defending Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins 26-7 in a game that looked like every player on the Miami Dolphins wanted no business being there because it was cold.
They did not want to play in that game. They did not want to sit on that field. They did not want to travel on that bus.
They didn't want to tackle nobody. Mike McDaniels, for the first half, let Tua throw the ball past the line of scrimmage twice. Because, as I predicted on the podcast, Noodle Arm Tua was going to throw a ball into the stands. And what did he do? He threw a ball into the stands, guys.
Yeah, and when you already don't have the arm strength and it's something negative freaking 4 degrees, it's only going to hinder you. You could see he was underthrowing a lot of balls. Even just those little freaking.
The Tyreek Hill touchdown was also an underthrown ball. Tua does not have the arm to play in any elements. His arm is built for Miami.
He was like 0-11 in his career, and like temperatures under 40 degrees as a starting.
He is a Hawaiian man who played his college ball at Alabama, who plays his professional ball, Alabama,
but
not like this.
But listen, it doesn't matter because you were not in Alabama no more. You were practicing. Plus, the Chiefs practicing this. Travis Kelce was in practice the other day in shorts and a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. These guys are used to it.
5 degrees practicing. They did not want to be there. Tyreek Hill's like, give me a fucking jacket. Give me a jacket.
Yeah, before the game started, he was calling for it. The boy was cold. That was a cold boy, and that first half, they did not want to tackle Isaiah Pacheco at all. And I'm sitting there watching the game with Janice, and Janice's like, why are they just not tackling him? I was like, when it's cold, everything is a lot more difficult to do. And then when you have an aggressive runner like Isaiah Pacheco, who runs like he's mad at the ground.
Yeah, he runs like he wants to run through a brick. He'll run through a brick wall.
It's a hard thing to do.
And then with Jerry Sneed on that fucking jam, on that third down on Tyreek Hill. Oh my God. That's just like, they do not want to be there. Even that, like, he just jammed him in the wall, knocked him on his ass. He got back on top of him. And that's where Tua wanted to go. He couldn't do nothing. One read, Tua gets sacked.
And then the interception that Tua threw was that ball just got carried. The wind took it. It just went a little bit farther than it needed to go. Interception. Tua turned the ball over.
Failed.
Mike always likes to talk shit through what I call Tua turned the ball over because he's like, you're just doing this, talk shit. I was like, hey, it's a thing. It's a thing. Me and Jets Twitter, whatever Dolphins play, we're watching Tua turn the ball over as a family today, or what?
Yeah, Tua turn the ball over. As soon as I see it, Tua turn the ball over.
I don't understand why Mike McDaniel stopped the ball. And he did it. He stopped running the ball early.
He did that last week against Buffalo. Buffalo couldn't stop the run, especially when Josh Allen was trying to give them the game. And in the second half, he only ran the ball 3 times. And
Is that for the entire game? I'm sorry, Steven. Go ahead.
Yes, this is the entire game, Mike.
And the entire game last week, they were running like 8 yards a carry last week in the first half against Buffalo. Then Mike McDaniel ran the ball 3 times in the second half of that game. Buffalo does not want people to run the ball on them. They can't stop the run. They're designed to stop passing teams. They dare you to run the ball. And Mike McDaniel stopped running the ball last week, and that's why they ended up instead of playing Buffalo again in Miami, they're here.
Mike McDaniel, the former run game coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, didn't run the football in this weather, which is designed for running the football with your quarterback who has a noodle arm.
But they also their style of running, they don't run up the middle. They don't run between.
No, it's outside zones.
It's outside. That's in this weather. It's got to be inside.
You got to have someone who's going to beat you up, and they just have track stars.
The field's frozen. It neutral like this weather neutralizes speed.
It does, but you can still run the ball. Like, go back to that. Did that say that they ran the ball like 11 times for the whole game?
Just 11. So counting just running backs, they ran 14 total times.
14.
I don't count
14 times with just the running backs. 2 on a couple scrambles, and then Waddle once. So you're not going to
win.
You're not going to win in this weather with Tua throwing the ball 39 times.
Yeah, in this weather, and they basically got that touchdown at the end. Like Miami's defense was basically giving up. You can run the ball. They were only kicking field goals. They kept screwing up in the red zone.
The game was here for them to get back in it and do something. And
when Kansas City was up 13-7, Miami should have just been like, let's just they had the one drive where Mostert had the majority of his carries in the game, where he got the ball 5 straight times. You're telling me he only got the ball 3 more times going forward? Guy averaged 4 yards a carry.
Doing too much.
And they were using him up the middle on the up the middle runs. He was just going.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 designed outside to the left. He had 1 outside right, and he had like 2 or 3 right up the middle. And they were literally 3. It was, I think, 7, 3, 4, 7, all in a row. And they just stopped.
That's the second week in a row, he just stopped running the ball in a close game that he had no business stop running the ball from.
And in a game where you struggle to get the red zone, you're not running the football. The Chiefs are just field goal away, chipping you out of the game.
Making mistake after mistake after mistake in the red zone, costing them touchdowns, having to kick field goals instead. You're still in the game. You don't need the nerd head coach is becoming a little bit too nerdy with the analytics.
Yes, I agree. He outsmarted himself today.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those games to just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. Run the ball. Throw little screen passes to Tyreek and Waddle, and just go from there.
Oh, they were throwing.
That's what they were doing. That's all they were doing.
But they were covering them, just like in the first game they played in London. Kansas City was waiting for those screen passes.
They knew going into this game what was going to happen. They were going to try to fucking screen them to death.
Give us time.
We'll get there.
Give us time.
We will get there because we have a lot to talk about that game. All those screens, they were ready from off the rip because everybody and their grandmother knows that Tua does not have a strong arm.
It's all about getting the ball out of his hands quick. So you take away those screens. Quick one. He has that one deep throw to Tyreek that's underthrown severely, but that's a quick throw.
Honestly, if that ball wasn't underthrown, I think that was covered very well. The only reason he caught it was because it was underthrown.
He had to come back to it. Yeah.
Because Tyreek come to a complete stop and the guy just running right him for a PI.
Yeah, because he was running stride for stride with him and playing the ball being in front of him, playing him being led, and he had to come back and he screwed it up. Granted, he dumb as hell, stupid penalty, but that's what's gonna happen when you have to completely stop going one direction and go to the other.
What happens is when you adjust, then it gets picked off.
Mm-hmm. So Tua got lucky; his arm sucks. And even still, does it really matter?
Because they look like I'm like, oh my god, you can see it on their faces. Like there are some guys on there like they do not want to play this game.
Most of the Miami team.
On defense, they didn't want to tackle.
The only person on defense that wanted to play was Christian Wilkins. He was the only one on that Miami defense who wanted to play. Jalen Ramsey wanted no part of that of being there. None of those linebackers wanted any part of being there. They just wanted to get the fuck out of there. Christian Wilkins was the only Miami Dolphin who wanted to play football on the defensive side today.
Christian and Siler is buddy.
Shout out, Mike. We had a white cornerback sighting today.
We did.
He forced a fumble.
White cornerbacks are back.
Put him on that all-white Pro Bowl team.
I was about to say that all-white Pro Bowl team versus the all-black Pro Bowl team. They got two corners. They got two of them. They're gonna be there. Shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to
Jefferson's cooking him.
Yeah, don't do that. This genocide on the white cornerbacks needs to stop. Shout out to Andy Reid, frozen mustache. Andy Reid was hysterical.
Taylor Swift up here swag surfing on y'all.
Also,
yeah, that's when Miami's you gotta pack it up. Taylor Swift is out here swag surfing. It's time to go home. It is. It's time to go home.
I hate that woman. I blame her for Travis Kelce like dropping everything.
It does look like he gained like 15 pounds.
Travis looks like Jason out there.
Yeah, he looks like
he put on the 15 pounds of relationship weight.
When I saw him the other day at practice in that shorts and that t-shirt, I'm like, he gained some weight. He got that Taylor Swift chef.
He's enjoying that billionaire boyfriend life a lot.
He can retire.
He
can retire because half the plays he looks like he's retired anyway.
No, he
that
made a couple plays.
That motherfucker dropped like 5 passes today.
Dylan, it's -30 outside.
Mike, nobody knows Travis Kelce better than me right now. I had him on my fantasy team this year. I've watched him drop pass after pass.
This year too.
He dropped a lot of balls.
-4-degree weather.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear nothing about it. -4 degrees. No, he's been dropping the ball all year, and I've been screaming at him, and I blame fucking Taylor Swift for it. You left my number one pick in fantasy football. You ruined him. And I was screaming at him on the TV the first quarter when he dropped 3 passes in the first quarter. Like, I still had him playing on fantasy. There's no more fantasy. I'm still mad at him. We're working on it. And I'm out here. I'm 2 for 2 today on predicting the wild card.
So am I.
No, you had a...
Am I 2 for 2?
Steven, you watched the episode.
2 for 2?
You are a tentative 2 for 2 because Mike said he would only pick the Texans if they weren't wearing red.
Yeah.
Did they wear red?
They did not.
Texans all day. What happened? Texans all day. 2-4-2. 2-4-2.
All right, let's switch it up. Let's go to the Texas Browns. Texans 45, Cleveland Browns 14.
So I got something. Did you know Tom Brady has the most road playoff victories of all time? But he's tied. Did you know what quarterback he was tied with?
Joe Flacco?
Joe fucking Flacco for all-time wins on the road in the playoffs.
Well, I don't think Joe's going to get another opportunity now.
Cleveland dodged a bullet here because if they would have won that fucking game, then they would have the questions they'd have to looming with Deshaun Watson. So this was the best case scenario that could happen to Cleveland.
Yeah, because even though there was no chance Flacco was starting over Deshaun, but
no, if they would have won this game with Flacco as their quarterback, the whispers would be going around with Deshaun Watson. What the heck, Joe Flacco? 260 guaranteed, and he's really hasn't played barely any game for you for 2 years.
And then Joe Flacco promptly turned into Joe Flacco.
I was going to say, Joe Flacco, his Linsanity run is over. He turned back to the pumpkin.
Interceptions in this run, regardless.
But the problem is he was throwing those interceptions and still winning. So like
and
all is forgiven as long as you win.
Touchdown passes.
Yeah, as long as all is forgiven if you're winning.
But Cleveland at home, they have the number one scoring defense. On the road,
the worst. They're the worst. So here, I saw that before the game, and I was like, I am so glad I picked the Texans. I am so glad I picked the Texans. Because, man, this Browns defense didn't do shit.
Well, it didn't really matter for the Browns.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Those two back-to-back pick sixes, it didn't really matter what the Browns defense.
That's a backbreaker. Yeah.
Regardless, 14. So if you take 14 points off this board right now, it's still 31-14. So like the Texans were doing whatever they wanted on offense.
It was 24. You got to remember, it was 24-14 coming out of halftime. Cleveland was driving.
Mm-hmm.
If that awful freaking, I don't know if he was throwing it away or not, but that awful pick six changed the game.
He got hit. He got hit as he was throwing. That changed it.
Wasn't that bad. The second one?
The second one got baited. The second one got baited so hard. So hard.
Oh. Remember, it's a different score. It's a different story because the defense, they didn't give up those 2 points, those 2 touchdowns. Like
no, they still gave up 31.
That drop.
It's different though because exactly like if it's 24-21, like that's a different game. Like
if they score with at least 3, it's still 24-17. It's still like a 1-score game.
Yes, but they still gave up 31.
Yeah, at the end,
Dylan, they also scored a garbage touchdown. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's a garbage touchdown. So
they still gave up 31. Like, I don't understand what we're seeing here. Like, they still gave up 31 points to the offense.
Dylan, at the time when it was 24-14, they were driving.
Yes.
Yeah, their defense scored 2 touchdowns.
Again, the Texans defense scoring 2 touchdowns has nothing to do with the fact that the Browns defense still allowed 31 points.
Because it's over. What are they playing for at that point?
They still that's the thing. I'm just saying is like the Browns defense still allowed 31 points. The 14 points that they scored on defense has nothing to do with the Browns defense. I'm not saying that does. I'm not sitting here saying, man, the Browns defense got 45 scored on them. No, they did not. I understand what happened. I watched it. I was talking crazy shit about Joe Flacco in the chat, just mainly because Anthony picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
That was terrible. Why did he switch picks? I don't know.
Anthony is the biggest mush of all time. The second he puts his confidence in something, it blows up in his face immediately. And he's like, nah, man, Joe Flacco. And then he's like, well, he said fucking Beetlejuice's name. And then he appeared. He picked, and I was like, he picked the Browns to go to the Super Bowl, right? I was like, Mike's like, yep, he did. And I was like, well, the Lions are doomed because he picked the Lions too.
He dodged. The Browns dodged the bullet. That they don't have to deal with those looming questions about Deshaun Watson. But C.J. Stroud putting up rookie records by halftime.
Mike, do you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking? Because my favorite thing to do here is turn back the clock and go back to things Dylan has said on the podcast. And I said, I think Baltimore can beat everybody in the AFC, but I think there's one team that I think can beat Baltimore. And I think it's Houston. Do I think Houston is going to beat Baltimore? No, I do not. But
stand on business. Stand on business.
I think they can. If this number is like plus 3.5, I may take it.
You got to remember that then they're going to be going on a dome team.
They're going on the road. They're going on the road. That's why it's like it's tough.
Baltimore.
But it wouldn't shock me if Houston beat them. Because that was the main point of everything. That's what we were saying. I said it would not shock me if Houston showed up to Baltimore and won that game.
I like to also turn back the hands of time. When I was telling y'all about Nico Collins, because they don't have a number one receiver. I'm like, they got Nico Collins.
You look like a number one. You look like a number one.
No, he's a number one receiver. He's the number one receiver in this league. I'll give credit when credit is due. Just everybody has to give me my credit. Everybody has to give me my credit.
I also would like to turn back the hands of time to the 2023 draft when I said C.J. Stroud was the best player in the draft. And
I don't know best quarterback. I don't know my best player, but best quarterback.
I look here too. C.J. Stroud is cooking.
But
he also has great offensive line.
Don't do that.
He also when you're coming in as a rookie quarterback and you have Laramie Tunsil and Shaq Mason.
Yeah, like that makes a lot.
It pretty helps.
Because if you swap Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, I don't think C.J. Stroud is having nearly as good of a year as he's having in Carolina. Because Carolina
they win more than two. I bet you they win more than 2 games.
Yeah, they probably win 6.
I bet you Houston doesn't win 11.
Look a lot different.
No, they don't win 11. They probably win like 8 or 9.
But
again, we don't know because Bryce Young is in a bad system with a bad head coach and a bad offensive line.
It always depends the situation you're in because those rookie quarterbacks, the teams that are picking first have the worst records.
That's why I hate like when the Texas one, Ross was like, man, that's what a number 2 pick is supposed to look like. How many number 2 picks have ever really been like that good at quarterback? Like. It's not a thing. It's not a thing that happens like frequently.
I laughed when I saw him say that because the bar is now reset. He's gonna
everything has to be
compare everyone to C.J. Stroud. Yes,
but not every rookie quarterback is going to come in and have Laramie Tunsil as their left tackle blocking their blind side.
Situations don't matter, Steven. It's just he was taken second, and that's all that matters. Context to where players go don't matter.
In that draft regardless, but it does help.
My guy still hasn't played yet. He'll be the quarterback next year. Hendon Hooker. Nah, I give the Texans a ton of credit. That's why I said I think Texas can beat Baltimore. Will I take them? No, because I think Baltimore's the best team in football. But if that betting line is like 4 plus 4, 4.5, I'm betting it. Just like I'm betting that Tampa Bay plus 3. Betting that.
Tampa Bay's winning that game.
It's trending towards Tampa Bay.
Jalen Hurts is back to being Jalen Hurts, and he hasn't thrown a football all week.
because Jalen Hurts' fingers all fucked up. This is trap game. This is fucking trap game.
Then the rumblings of firing Sirianni after
Yes, I thought I was crazy. I thought I saw like 2 reports of it, and then I never saw anything ever again. Like they sweeped it out under the rug like it never happened. Nobody ever said anything about the Eagles trying to move on from Sirianni. And it just seems like Howie Roseman and everybody's just like, this guy kind of sucks. He's kind of just an asshole.
Very punchable face.
And it's like, I think if you fired him, that would be silly because like he just brought this team to the Super Bowl.
Well,
like a year removed from bringing to a team to a Super Bowl is crazy, but to go from this feared team to, if you could take away the tush push, you could beat them.
That's also because the brains of the operation left.
Mm-hmm.
As the head coach, he knew Jalen Hurts' weaknesses, so what did he do? He knew his strengths. We're gonna throw 1 million screens. Completion percentage goes up the roof. Throw 20 screens a game. We're gonna use you in the running game. We're gonna run QB powers, QB sweeps. We're gonna run all that. Bunch of RPOs, and then that was their offense. This year, what I say, said it every week. Keep the tush push counter clock on. However many times they run that play, if you lower that shit down to like 2, you're winning the game.
Keep them off of the 3-yard line. Keep them out of 3rd and short.
And then the worst thing they did was promote Patricia to defense coordinator, who's taking their best pass rusher, Hassan Reddick, who's not rushing him, putting him out in coverage.
So Mike is front fandom Titans, back fandom's Giants. So whenever he decides he's just gonna flip, right? As we all know, Wink Martindale quit the Giants. And then forgot to sign his pink slip, and then went back and was like, "Hey, I fucking quit." And then they were like, "Okay, fine, you can sign the pink slip." I think he's gonna be the defense coordinator of the Eagles next year. And just to stick it to,
I think that may happen too.
To Dable, I think he's gonna be the defense coordinator of the Eagles to stick it to Dable, because Dable fired his 2 guys, and he was like, "Oh, what? My right hand man, you're getting rid of? Now that you don't want me." And I know your offense stinks.
The Eagles will be back next year because I think that Wink is going to go to them. And I think they're going to fire their offensive coordinator, who has been awful.
He doesn't call plays, so who cares?
We've seen this before. Nick Foles, they paid Carson Wentz, and then the Eagles went down. They paid Jalen Hurts, and they're going to go down again.
Jalen Hurts' money kicks in next year, right?
The brains of the operation, offense coordinator leaves, and then it goes downhill. They pay the quarterback, can't have the all-star team, goes downhill.
We're going to really see, because most of these linemen are gone. Like, Kelsey's gone next year.
Jalen Hurts crumbles under pressure. That's where he throws his most interceptions, when he's blitzed.
Kelsey's going to retire. Lane Johnson, who's been beat up all year, is probably going to retire. Like, you'll be able to still hold on to Jordan Mailata because he's still relatively younger.
Yeah.
But
people forget, this is the same Jalen Hurts we saw 2 years ago. I'm not surprised.
Just a little better.
Last year they had an easy schedule. They benefited from that schedule, and the offense coordinator knew his weaknesses. Threw 1 million screens. Just a drop off. Went back.
Mike, is Jalen Hurts top 5 quarterback?
He has an average quarterback year, and then all of a sudden he has like, we're gonna call that an outlier, and then the next year back to being average again.
Is he top 5, Mike?
Everything I say is not disputable because the evidence is right there.
It is quite disputable because your cowboy bias is coming out, so it's quite disputable.
No, it's not cowboy bias. I'm biased. I am biased towards every freaking thing. I've watched Jalen Hurts his whole fucking career, from Alabama to fucking now, and I never thought he was good at Alabama.
Yeah, you think he stinks? Yes, yeah.
Quarterback.
Last year, he could have won the MVP.
Again,
This year,
he
has not been a top 5 quarterback, but he has been still an above average quarterback. Because just because they had a bad month of this last month of the season, we're not going to ignore the fact that him and AJ Brown were on a historic tear for like a month and a half.
AJ Brown, who wants to fight him now?
AJ Brown, who hates him, was going full blown CEO.
Did it happen or did it not happen?
No, I'm not. Nobody's saying it didn't happen. The problem is AJ Brown now hates him.
He hates his guts.
I think AJ Brown hates their offensive coordinator because they're not throwing him the ball. They're just making him run out routes every down. I would be mad too.
It's really easy when all Jalen Hurts was. All they were doing though is the beginning half of the year. All they were doing was just throwing AJ Brown balls deep.
The offense is simple. I'll tell you the offense. They run a little bullshit screen, get it a tush push. Once they reach the 40s, they take a deep shot. Then they go back screen, tush push, deep shot.
And they also don't run the ball enough.
They don't run the ball, and just keep them in the pocket, make them throw.
I feel so bad for DeAndre Swift because DeAndre Swift from like 99 yards is fantastic, and then he doesn't get that touch on the 1 yard line.
But the line looks old.
Well, they are. That offensive line is old.
Kelsey and Lane Johnson are old. That's about it.
Yeah, but their guards stink. Last year you still had Kelsey as a like top center. He's still the top center in football, but like he was better last year than he was this year. If you have an elite center, it really makes up for how well your guards play, especially when you have elite bookends on the other side. Lane Johnson is old and he's also hurt. So he's not playing great football.
He can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy. So now you're really showing how bad that right guard is because of it. Jordan Mailata hasn't had a good year, but he's still a good left tackle. And then Kelsey is having a down Kelsey. You're still all pro, but like, is that just because the rest of the centers really aren't that good?
And their defense was bad last year.
Their defense is horrible this year. Their defense is fucking
bad last year. They lost 5 starters.
Their defense stinks.
Their defense is
bad last year, and then losing 5 starters.
This game has Mike Evans having like 250 go all over it.
Mike Evans is Chris Godwin because the whole.
I said that on the pod too. Look at that.
Everyone's going to focus on Mike Evans, but Chris Godwin is the key to the fucking game. Because this defense last year, it took advantage. The whole NFC East last year took advantage of the weak-ass schedule they had last year. That's why the Giants made the playoffs. We had 3 teams in the playoffs. And what I said this year is a difference with the tougher schedule this year. Giants, nowhere to be found.
That argument just does not hold water because it's the same argument that Dylan gives. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. Every team does not stink. There's not just 2 good teams and everyone stinks. Like, there are good teams that get beat. Like,
you end up getting the
not 21 bad teams in the league.
If you play 2 terrible divisions who were 2 terrible divisions, and everybody took advantage of that, and then the next year you have a tougher schedule. The Giants were a 9-win playoff team last year. Where are they now? They're picking in the top 10.
Come on, but that doesn't mean anything.
Here's the problem with that.
The Giants were decimated with injuries this year.
The Giants weren't that good.
The Giants weren't. Giants are not good. They played better. They have better quarterbacks from their backup quarterbacks than they did the starter they paid.
But the Giants also had a tremendous amount of injuries this year. Did they not?
Who?
The majority of their defense, and they lost some players on their offensive line, and Darren Waller never played.
Darren Waller
just the same team as last year. So they're just the same team as last year. If you take Darren Waller away, it was the same team because that offensive line this year and last year was dog shit.
Their defense also suffered
The
Lack
AFC
of a
South
But
last
the
year
defense
had
also
3 teams
played
picking in
bad
the top
teams
5 of the
last
draft.
year. So we're not. So I don't like when you say he's like, oh, Dylan thinks 21 teams in the NFL are bad. Do you play 21 games in the NFL? No, you don't. How many games do you play a year?
You think every team is bad.
How many
You said
games
the
do you
Giants
play a
didn't
year?
play anybody. The Eagles didn't play anybody. The Vikings didn't play anybody. No one
I
in
didn't
the
say the
NFC
Vikings didn't
South
play
played
anybody.
anybody.
I didn't say
You
the Vikings
did.
didn't play.
You said
No,
they
I
got
didn't.
lucky and they played nothing but bad teams. That's
The
what you
I
said.
said the
They got
Vikings got
lucky and they
lucky
played
because
nothing
they
but
won.
bad teams.
They
Okay.
won 10 one-possession games, Mike.
Let me take this over. The Eagles last year in that schedule they played, the 3 best quarterbacks they played were Kirk Cousins, Pat Mahomes, and Dak.
I have to look at their schedule. I don't know.
Mike, their schedule was the AFC South.
The AFC South and the NFC North last year.
Okay.
The Giants literally got
So did you say the AFC North?
the AFC
NFC.
South and the NFC North last year.
So last year they got to play Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins.
Aaron Rodgers, that team sucks. They didn't make the playoffs. Did they make the playoffs? Did they make the playoffs?
Everyone sucks. I know.
Nope.
Everyone
No one
sucks.
says
I know.
I'm not saying
Everyone
21
sucks.
teams are.
Everyone
I'm
sucks.
saying
Detroit
17
didn't make the playoffs either, but they suck too, right? That last year's Detroit team sucked too, right? But they didn't make the playoffs. Did they suck?
They didn't make the playoffs.
So they suck. That's what you're saying. That's what you say. Detroit sucks.
AFC South. Did the AFC South had 3 teams picking in the top 5 of the draft this past year?
No.
Yes, they did.
No, they did not.
The Colts and Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee
What are you
didn't.
talking about? What are you talking about? No. No.
They
The
did.
Texans were horrible, and the Colts were horrible. The Titans and the Jaguars were good teams last year.
Mike, the Titans won 6 games last year.
No, they did not. Dylan.
Yes, because the Jets won 7 and the Titans won less than the Jets.
Are you talking about this year or last year?
Last year.
Last year, 2022, when the Titans lost the division on the last game of the season?
That game was already lost.
What are y'all talking? Okay. Let's reel it in. What year are y'all talking about? The football season that we are currently in?
Mike, the Titans last year had 7 wins. 2022, 2023, the Titans had 7 wins. You guys picked the top 10.
Jaguars won the division at 8 and 9?
9 and 8.
9 and 8.
Mike, I have the standings up right now.
Remember, they had to play y'all the week before the last week of the season, and they beat y'all.
Played a winner-take-all game in the last game of the season.
9 and 8.
That's why it was on Sunday Night Football, because it was a winner-take-all game.
Before.
This is the 2022-2023 season right there, right?
Not looking it up.
I have it right here.
I switched back over.
How did you guys drafted
the last game of
the
last game of the season was a winner-take-all game. So right, they were 7 and 10.
Record doesn't make it that. How?
So explain to me, what did I watch the last game of the season?
You watched Titans play another team, because that game happened the week before. It was on
Sunday. The Jaguars weren't week 18. The Jaguars were week 17.
Because if it was a winner take all game, that means the Jaguars would be 8 and 9. 8 and 9. They would come in 8 and 8.
That's what I thought what was happening.
Yeah, your season was over when you guys lost to the Cowboys. Because you might have been playing for a wild card spot.
Remember, they lost to Houston.
Yeah, you guys won 7 games last year. So the Titans were not like. If the Titans were good, the Jets were good, and the Jets were not good. Both 7 and 10 teams. So the whole AFC South 3 losing football teams.
The NFC East benefited
Everyone's
last season off the AFC South and the
Do
NFC
the Titans
North.
pick in the top 10?
yes.
Then they stink.
Yes, everyone stinks. Yes.
If you pick in
everyone
the top
stinks.
10, you stink.
Everyone stinks.
Can we not use that as a thing going forward? If you are a top 10 pick,
Everyone stinks.
if your draft pick is in the top 10, you stink.
Everyone stinks.
It's not everybody. It's if you are picking the top 10,
It very much so is everyone.
You're picking your teams that have played in the top 10.
If your team is in the top 10 picking, you stink.
The NFC East had a tougher schedule this year. They played the AFC East and the NFC West.
Steven will tell you that the Cowboys played a shit schedule too.
They played a shit schedule last year.
There are divisions that are worse than others.
The whole NFC East benefited from the schedule last year, except for Washington. Because they suck.
Washington stinks.
So,
Does Washington stink, Mike?
yeah, and each NFC East member had to play Washington twice. And Washington lost to everybody except one game where there was tied. So you got 2 wins off Washington and
Tennessee
one
picked up.
one-
It doesn't
one
matter.
in the tie.
Tennessee picked 11th last year.
They still have the same record as people who
God
picked 10,
bless.
so who cares? The Jets picked 13. We still sucked.
It was a benefit. They benefited off the schedule last year. Then this year's a tougher schedule.
That's why Miami got so much shit this year, because their strength of schedule was dog shit. And all they were doing was beating good teams. Or they were getting beat up by good teams. They were beating all the bad teams and losing all the good games.
Miami had to play the NFC East, and then they ended up in the AFC West. Yeah,
That's why the strength of schedule matters so much. Miami's strength of schedule on wins was like a 4.3.
it's who you play and what quarterback you play. So Miami literally 1-5 against teams with winning record.
All right, let's move on to tomorrow's games, as we have
2.
as the honorary Brono boy wants to fight us. Green Bay.
Everyone stinks. I've just come to that conclusion. Everyone stinks.
6, but you could pick out 7.
Yeah,
Mike,
everyone
you're taking it to the extreme when it's not everyone stinks.
Everyone stinks.
Because
No
there's
matter what
32
team you
teams in the
bring up,
NFL.
Everyone stinks.
Last year, did the Texans stink?
Yes.
Did the Colts stink?
Yes.
Did the
What-
Bears stink?
Yes.
Did the Commanders stink?
Yes.
That's 4 right there out of
Mhm.
a 17-game schedule.
Okay.
The Colts finished with a losing record. No, not the Colts. The Texans finished.
No, that's
with a
only
losing.
that's only 4. That's only 4 of 17.
I'm going to keep going. So let's go with just losing football teams. The Titans finished 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
You finished below 500. Does that mean your team stinks?
So that automatically means you stink. Yes.
If you did not win, you did not get to
yes.
500.
They stink.
You stink. Thank you. Let me go back to their.
The Lions and Packers are both 9-8. But
They stink though.
I'm not going to say
they stink though.
I'm not going to
No.
say they stink.
Steven has established that they stink because they didn't make the playoffs, so they stink.
struggling all year, the shitty receivers they had.
It was a down Rodgers
Exactly.
year.
Down
I
Rodgers
called Rodgers washed. Did I
down
not?
this year. Act like
No,
play,
we have established they did make the playoffs. They stink.
the Lions were bad. Their defense was terrible. Let's not act like the defense was terrible. And they got hot like the last 3 games.
All right, so Giants beat the Titans. You guys 7 wins. They beat the Panthers. They were terrible. Lost to the Cowboys. Beat the Bears, who were terrible. Beat the Packers. Beat the Ravens. That's a good
They
win.
stink.
The Ravens is a good win. The Ravens don't stink. Who's saying the Ravens stink?
No one says the Ravens stink.
This is why I say you're overreacting and just like dragging it. The Ravens don't stink. They beat the Jaguars. That's a good win. Lost to the Seahawks. Beat the Texans. Lost to the Lions. Lost to the Cowboys.
Seahawks
don't stink. Last year did not stink.
I
know you're going to try to say they stink, but I didn't say they stink. Tied to the Commanders. Can't do that. Lost to the Eagles. Beat the Commanders. Lost to the Vikings. Beat the Colts. Lost to the Eagles.
First Vikings game.
Outside.
The Vikings were frauds.
Outside of the Ravens.
Too.
The Vikings, I was crying up and down all last year the Vikings stunk because they won 10 one-possession games. And then when they played good teams, they got dog-walked.
They allowed more points than they scored, and they won 13 games.
But that's good. That's good. That's good football.
I mean, they stink.
You can argue that.
Yes.
You can argue that this year's Eagles team is that exact Vikings team, except they started losing the close games. Because the Eagles won a bunch of those one-score games that they easily could have lost. It's a coin toss. That's why Tampa
Packers Cowboys. Does Jordan Love?
Cowboys are gonna win because the Packers stink.
Who said the Packers stink?
They're 9-8. They stink.
They're in the playoffs.
That doesn't matter.
Jordan Love took that same Packers team Aaron Rodgers had last year and took them to the playoffs. I also picked
Rodgers was washed.
That's your quarterback.
And washed. Standing on business.
Your definition of washed is
the Packers. The only problem with the Packers is like they're the youngest team in the league, and when are we gonna get what happened earlier in the year where the receivers were dropping everything and LaFleur was calling dumb plays?
The Cowboys are gonna win by 10 points.
I would like to see if Jordan Love can, because he's already taken ownership of the Bears from Aaron Rodgers. Will he put up a fight to try to take ownership of the Cowboys away from Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers loves playing in Jerry World. Loved it very much. I think he's only lost like one game to the Cowboys the last like 10 years. Something along those lines.
2016. Yeah, it was Dak's rookie year. Dak went to Green Bay and won.
That's last because every time I've watched Rodgers and the Packers play,
because last year was dumb. Oh, dumb coaching always cost them in the freaking games. The first playoff game, they refused to run the ball, and guess what? They left too much time on the clock. Typical Jason Garrett fashion. What happened? Rolls right down, kick a field goal, win.
I would like to see what happens to Jordan Love.
Last year, they had the game won if they just run the ball. Typical Mike McCarthy fashion. He wanted to be bigger. And instead of just running the ball twice, called stupid pass play that goes nowhere. That's more Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore's a pussy.
I
got the Cowboys winning. I also have the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So in order to get to the Super Bowl, you got to beat this team.
I got the Cowboys winning.
I think everyone has the Cowboys winning.
And that's dangerous.
It's interesting to see. The defense is these Packers receivers is who's going to stand up, who's going to stand out. I don't know if Watson's
supposed to be playing. Supposed to be playing. I think he got cleared, or he's been practicing and he's active, but I don't know.
This is the Aaron Jones is the one they have to worry about.
He is the one they need to worry about.
And where is Deron Bland going to be playing?
Aaron Jones,
whoever Deron Bland is covering.
Aaron Jones is really the Aaron that gives the Cowboys problems.
Wherever Deron Bland is, throw the ball. That's what the Packers' game plan is going to be.
That's also a risk.
It's a risk you have to take. Because it's not like Deron Bland is like phenomenal.
But you got to also remember the Packers love calling those long developing plays.
They do, and that's right up there in Micah Parsons' wheelhouse.
Zua and Armstrong and Fowler and all them come to play. They like calling those long developing plays.
Because I'll tell you right now, Jordan Love's going to stay away from Gilmore.
I was getting Jordan Love killed at the beginning of the season because all his linemen were hurt, and LaFleur still wanted to call those plays.
And even though Jair Alexander is like a nutcase, he also may not play.
Yeah, but
he showed up on the injury report.
But Jair ain't what he used to be.
He's
this year. The problem is who they have. A defense is the problem for the Packers because of Joe Barry don't know how to call a defense. What's he going to do with CeeDee Lamb?
No, if you guys put CeeDee Lamb in the slot, they're screwed.
The hottest QB wide receiver combo going. CeeDee Lamb, make the case. Offensive player of the year. Where do you put him on the new receiver rankings?
Oh, Mike has a problem. He said you can make a case. You can make a case.
Oh, sure.
Will he win? Probably not, but you can make a case.
What's the case against him? He's leads the league in receptions, 135. He's only 40 yards under Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill's the offensive player of the year, bro. Sorry to tell you.
You can make the case.
Sorry to tell you.
But the guy, what are you basing off of? Because the stats favor CeeDee Lamb.
So are you going to do just stats? Is that it?
Well, what are you bringing to the table?
Well, I'm asking you, are you basing it on just stats? Because if you're basing it on just stats, then Dak Prescott is the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, you could do that too.
He said he has an argument.
Let's say I have
He's
an
not
argument.
saying he was going to win.
I'm not saying you can win, but you could argue that you could put CeeDee Lamb as offensive player of the year.
I mean, I guess you could, but
he has. What do you argue?
So what are we doing? Like, argue, or are you saying who's going to win? Like, are you saying he's going to win? Because he's not going to win.
What you're saying? I guess, and you're looking around like you're looking to try to find.
I guess you could make an argument for him. Sure. Is it going to be a good argument? Is it a winning argument? It's not a winning argument.
When you're picking offensive player of the year, how do you determine offensive player of the year?
I determine it off of the stats and the impact on the team.
If that's the case,
MVP.
If that's the case, then CeeDee Lamb absolutely has an argument because he also, besides leading the NFL in receptions, 135, he's right up there with yards and touchdowns at the wide receiver position. He is a first-team All-Pro as well.
Yes, you can.
So it's like he has a real argument.
I would make the argument that Tyreek missed 1 or 2 games, and again, the impact on the offense that he plays on. But like I said, if we're going to do just stats, I'm not picking either one of them. I'm picking Dak Prescott.
And you would not be wrong.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong. But you could also say if you take CeeDee Lamb off the field, how much impact that is, because the way he has evolved, that receiver.
The way that Dak has been playing this year, I don't think it would be the fall off you think.
But
we named 3 players, and if you name 3 of those players, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott as offensive player of the year, you would not be wrong.
And then you got to throw CMC in there.
Exactly, because McCaffrey probably is going to end up winning it if he doesn't win MVP. He's not going to win MVP. He's not going to win MVP. But if he's going to be in the MVP conversation, not win that, and not be offensive player of the year,
it's going to be a bad beat.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not going to get any trophies.
I would like to go back to that Baltimore-San Francisco game where Kyle Shanahan got ahead of himself and was feeling himself, because if San Fran kept running the ball, because Baltimore was having a hard time stopping McCaffrey, Shanahan wanted to prove that Brock Purdy could hang, and that's why they lost that game. But because Baltimore could not stop McCaffrey that game, and then he stopped running the ball.
I mean, take it up with the coach.
Yeah, there's no way you could put the guy who leads the NFL in yards from scrimmage out of the offensive player of the year category as well, and
They are
and 21 touchdowns. Like you can't take him out of that either. Like he could also win that award.
Are you not going to put Mostert from Miami in it then? Because he led the league in touchdowns.
Doesn't have the yards, and he's tied for in the league for again. That's stuff matters because McCaffrey had the same amount of touchdowns.
Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns last year. Why was he not considered offensive player of the year?
You tell me. You tell me.
Because he didn't have the yards.
No yards.
It's because guys pick and choose when they want to do the analytic and then when they want to use eye test. That's why.
It's not. It's
People
like Gus
pick and
Edwards.
choose.
Gus Edwards is a touchdown merchant because he doesn't do anything the whole time he's on the field until he's within the 3-yard line and they just hand him the ball.
Gus Edwards, how many touchdowns Gus Edwards have on the season?
He's a touchdown merchant. He does nothing else but just run 3-yard touchdowns.
You're gonna give him a freaking offensive player of the year.
J.K. Dobbins would have been pissed. He would have been pissed if he didn't get hurt. Because J.K. Dobbins, it's just like DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift does all the work and when he gets to run the ball, he can run a 75-yard run. He'll stop at the one and they're like, sorry, DeAndre, we're not giving you the ball.
He should be pissed. He should be pissed.
Jason Kelsey said it on the podcast. He was like, whenever he does it, he's like, man, sorry, you know what's happening.
You know what's going down. So
you know what's happening. It is what it is.
They're getting desperate when out of the tush push, they're running all these other toss throws out of it.
They should have waited to show that.
I said
waited.
The first time they did it, I said they should have saved that.
Because they ran it like week 4. Why are you going to show your hand in week 4?
I said they should have saved that.
You got to make sure it works, though. Probably got to do it against live bullets. Make sure it works.
It was going to work because at that point, no, you never did.
Everybody was doing everything in their power. They see that formation. They see that formation where everybody's lined up right on Hurts' hip, and everybody's like, all right, everybody in the middle.
When they did it against the Giants, they just threw a toss, and they threw it to a wide receiver. I'm like, why are you showing this?
Sirianni probably needs to get fired for that. That alone.
They fire him. That's going to be crazy.
AJ Brown.
This is a great pool to pick from. Right? If you're going to fire Sirianni, is there a better pool of head coaches to pick from?
If they fire Sirianni, they're throwing their hat in the Belichick pool.
If they fire Sirianni and then go hire the Bengals OC, they're crazy.
Why would they be crazy?
Go hire the Bengals OC instead of that's never coached, and you fire a Super Bowl head coach.
I mean, Sirianni also really
off
never
of
coached.
1 year, off of a bad month.
That's what they did to Doug Peterson.
Yeah, they did. That's very true. That's
then
very
they better,
true.
like I said, they better get it right because
guess what?
Doug Peterson looks fine in Jacksonville.
Remember, the Sirianni hire at the time was considered dumb as fuck.
Well, he lost the press conference, so that's dumb because he had a bad press conference.
Go ahead, ask me a question. I'm Nick Sirianni.
Nick, what's gonna be your plan to take for the offense going into the next season?
Well,
all right, thank you.
That's not what he did.
That is what he did. Because I remember when they hired him, I was like, why is anybody hiring the Colts offensive coordinator? Because those Colts offenses weren't good. So, like, I don't know why because he also didn't call plays. So that Sirianni hire wasn't good to begin with. It lucked out. Turns out he represented every Philly scumbag that's there.
Doug Peterson is in the same situation for the Jags he was over there. He doesn't Press Taylor doesn't want to get rid of Press Taylor. He's going to cost him his job again. The problem was he hired a really smart guy. He had Shane Steichen.
Yes.
And that was the brains of the operation. And then what happens? He became a head coach. Not because, he didn't leave because of something else. He left to be a head coach.
And his defensive coordinator beat him.
Yeah. Well, They wanted to use Jonathan Gannon as the scapegoat.
No. I don't know. If you're the Eagles and you fire Sirianni, I think it's hilarious. But I don't think you go after Bill Belichick. I don't think you can.
Then you there's no reason to fire him.
I mean, there's other coaches available.
Yeah,
You're gonna
but
fire him for Jim Harbaugh?
No. Well, Harbaugh with that team will work. Because defensive guys will want to play for him on that side. So he'll get them.
Because you got to remember he didn't win the Super Bowl, so they could fire him. But my thing is, if you're gonna fire him and you don't bring in Belichick, what was the point of firing him?
Bring in Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel.
Bring in Vrabel. Vrabel would be great, and he'll be so happy to have AJ Brown back.
Oh yeah, he was ready to punch the motherfucker at draft night when they made that trade.
Vrabel in Philly would be very good. See how the Patriots it had the sneakiest way to hire a head coach of all time.
Vrabel should have never freaking got fired to begin with. It just Amy Adams wanted to take her freaking. She wanted to run her team. That's all it was.
I don't know why. I know why they fired Vrabel. I don't like that they fired Vrabel. And now that
no one likes that they fired Vrabel.
Now the Patriots have, again, the sneakiest way to sign a head coach ever, because apparently just putting guys contracts like, hey, you're the next head coach. We don't have to interview anybody. You're just going to get it. Like, that's it.
Parcells would do for freaking Belichick.
Belichick's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but Belichick didn't want to coach the fucking Jets.
Piece of shit. Somebody said on the Fan the other day, they're like, oh, you know what the Jets should do? They should fire Saleh for Bill Belichick. I'm like, Bill Belichick would never work. Belichick hates us.
He hates
Belichick hates the Jets, and we hate him. Why would he do that? He'd come and sign the contract on a napkin, asshole.
You know what's going to happen, because Belichick to Atlanta is the thing, because you notice Atlanta wasn't making requests to any team to talk to nobody's coaches, and then Belichick and parted ways, and now they're starting to make requests now. I think Arthur Blank.
Word on the street is there a certain team who hasn't fired their head coach yet that might be going the Bill Belichick route?
Oh, they don't know what they're talking about.
That team might be your boys, Steven.
That's not gonna happen.
How would you feel if, let's say, you guys lost to the next round and you guys had to fight and you guys decided, you know what? We're firing Mike McCarthy. And Dan Quinn has already accepted the Seattle Seahawks job because that's almost inevitable.
Get Vrabel, not Bill.
You know Jerry gonna want Bill.
Not a Dallas kind of guy.
Jerry's not gonna. Jerry tried that shit with Parcells before. That shit's not gonna fucking float.
I don't know if Bill has the balls that Parcells has to be like, I'm fucking out of here. Fuck you, Jerry. I'm out.
You know Belichick wants to be in control of everything.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
It's not gonna work out.
That ain't gonna happen. It took Jerry forever to keep it within the family. Let Steven run that fucking team. So fuck that.
They tried it before. They got Parcells and
Jerry's ego gets the best of him. Yeah, we were talking about this at the barbershop yesterday because our barbers are Cowboys fans.
Cowboys fans.
So it was
happening is, I don't think Belichick's not going to put up with that shit. Vrabel, you meet Vrabel, I'll be okay. And Dan Quinn's going to probably leave anyway. Will promote Al Harris to defense coordinator because he's basically the defense coordinator on the field because Quinn's in the booth. He's coaching them up on the sidelines.
Rams Lions. For those of you who didn't watch the show, I think I'm the only one who picked the Rams, right?
I'm picking the Rams.
Yeah. Okay. So the Brother Boys are at it because
yes, the fans are going to be packed, but they're going to be demoralized because they love Matt Stafford.
Exactly. Matt Stafford's not going to get booed. You think Matt Stafford's going to get booed?
They might throw a fucking tribute video for his ass before the fucking game. And if they do that, they're wrong for doing that. But I don't know why they do.
Matt Stafford a tribute video before he goes and drops 320 and 3 tutters. You gotta blame the tribute video, right?
The problem is the Lions' defense is bad. They don't have Laporta, who is the key to their offense.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Especially in the red zone. Laporta's not playing.
He's questionable.
Didn't he? He hyperextended his knee, right?
He's not playing.
I just looked at it. It says he's questionable. I didn't think he was going to play, but I just looked at it 2 seconds ago on SportsCenter. It says he's questionable.
He's not playing. He's not going to play.
What's the over-under on how many times Dan Campbell's going to go for on a 4th down tomorrow?
Well, look, the problem is...
For a Gatorade?
For a Gatorade.
What are you taking? The over?
Hold on. I want to hear what the number is first. What was the other Gatorade bet we had?
3.5.
3.5 over.
Fuck.
Is that good? Is 3.5 good? Is 3.5 good?
He may do 3 in the first half.
It's 3.5 good.
He may do 3. I think 3.5 is. Let's say 4.5.
4.5 under. 4.5 under.
4.5
I'll
over.
get you. If you take the over on 4.5, I'll do a Gatorade.
4.5 over under.
Yep, I'll take the over. Mike takes the under.
Yeah, I'll take the under for.
So Mike takes anything 4 and under. I take 5.
The problem with this is Jared Goff. Don't trust Jared Goff. And Sean McVay knows everything about Jared Goff. And Raheem Morris is trying to get a job. They're going to be trying to get a head coaching job. And if he can, with Sean McVay giving him all his information because he knows everything. He knows, they're not going to do this with him because he can't do it. They're going to do this. McVay knows everything, every little knick-knack about Jared Goff that he's probably sat in a meeting with Raheem Morris with and said this. Aaron Donald and their rookie pass rushers wreak havoc.
They got 99 on that team. I don't care how good that offensive line is. They got 99.
And McVay traded for Matt Stafford for a reason.
Because Matt Stafford's a dog.
The Rams are the dangerous team in the playoffs because San Francisco don't want to see them.
Speaking of the year on the
all
line.
All three of us agreed to that when we all were on the show 2 weeks ago.
They do not want to see the freaking Rams. That is the worst case scenario for them.
Because McVay.
There's Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Stafford healthy.
Shout out to Kyron Williams, 2nd team All-Pro Kyron Williams.
And I mean, if C-Mac doesn't exist, could have been 1st team.
Well, if he didn't miss those 4 games,
because you think he would have had a chance.
Look,
I mean, his numbers would suggest he would have a C-Mac, yeah. but then that's we can't do that and then not take account that C-Mac missed a couple games too. We can't do that.
I'm saying though, he missed the last game he didn't play, but the games when he was injured. But look how close he was, how he finished in rushing yards with the least.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If C-Mac doesn't exist, he's probably 1st team. Oh, he outside of C-Mac might have been the best running back in the league this year.
Because once he came back for the injury, then the Rams offense took off.
Low-key, because Sean McVay went, I didn't know I had this Ferrari sitting in my garage.
I didn't realize how good Kyron Williams was until I watched that Thursday night game against the Saints. And I was like, oh, that motherfucker is good.
He just missed those games because of injury.
That motherfucker is good.
Him, Stafford, and Cooper Kupp were hurt in the beginning of the season. And now they're all back healthy.
Like, if the Rams can just add a little bit to defense next year.
Their timeline is literally when Stafford and Donald decide to hang it up.
If they decide they want to go one more year, look out for the Rams next year.
And they have first round picks now.
Mm-hmm.
They might trade.
everything that y'all said is true. As if you watch the show, you know this was the hardest game for me to pick because everything in my football mind is telling me that the Rams are going to win this game. But I said this weeks ago, and I have to stand on business. I think I said it on y'all show. I cannot think of any team in football that's going to go into that stadium for the first game and beat them. I wasn't expecting Matthew Stafford to step up to the door.
That was the caveat.
I wasn't expecting Matt Stafford to step to that door.
Matthew Stafford is the whole narrative because those fans are not going to be quite so as rowdy as you think.
Matt Stafford is the single greatest. He's the greatest quarterback to ever play for the Detroit Lions. Nobody has won more games in Ford Field than Matt Stafford. They love Matt Stafford.
That part I disagree, Steven. That crowd's going to be ready. They are going to be loud.
They're going to be ready, but they're not going to boo.
Their emotions.
They're going to be more. They're going to be more hyped for the offense. When Jared Goff and them are on the field, that's when you're going to feel the energy. When Matthew Stafford comes on the field,
you're going to get the first time. The first time the Rams hit that field, Stafford is going to get a crazy ovation.
If they play a video package before this playoff game,
Rams by a billion. Rams by a billion. If they get the tribute video, Rams by a billion.
Oh, Dylan, you want another jersey stipulation?
No.
If the Lions wear gray, Lions by a million.
You already
Lions wear gray. Lions by a million though. Lions by a million.
By a million, no, because Matt Stafford.
Right now, I have Lions by 1 point because I'm scared to death of this game. I'm scared to death. But if the Lions walk out in those gray unis, Lions by a million.
The one advantage the Lions have is the Rams have the worst special teams, and the Rams have Brett Maher as their kicker. That is the one real disadvantage the advantage the Lions have over the Rams. The Rams have the worst special teams in the league, and if it comes down to a field goal, the Rams are trotting out Maher.
This could be a fun one. This is my favorite game of the weekend. My favorite game of the weekend because I am a notorious Matt Stafford truther. When they were trying to trade him to the Rams, and everybody was like, Matt Stafford stinks. I was like, there's a reason. He was a quarterback of this fucking team for over a decade, and they never thought he was the problem a single time. Because anybody else, after 5 years, you were out. After 5 years, after not doing nothing, you were out. And then I was vindicated. His first year out of that fucking system, he won a goddamn Super Bowl.
We have to see how the kicker is going to be when the Rams get in the red zone, whether they score a touchdown and Maher does what he did in Dallas last year and miss the extra point, or they get in the field goal range and he whiffs on the field goal, then it might be done for them.
Steelers, Bills. As we know, Buffalo is currently the Arctic tundra and is just under 40 billion feet of snow.
And you got freaking Mason Rudolph playing on MLK Day.
Oh, my God.
What an unbelievable point that was. What an unbelievable point that was.
Buffalo by a million.
The weather will keep it from a million, but Buffalo will win. Well, no. Buffalo will win a close game.
There's the problem is with Pittsburgh, they rely a lot on TJ Watt, who's not playing. Their secondary gives up a lot of passing yards.
This has James Cook written all over it.
If what's his name, Joe Brady can get back to using James Cook how he did his first 2 games, because
James Cook written all over it.
It's Pittsburgh is they have no TJ Watt, and Pittsburgh's offense. You know what it is. What are we going to get? Is Mason Rudolph do this in the playoff game?
And if Najee Harris just wasn't Trent Richardson, I would say this would be a big game for him, but he's also just an idiot. So he's the perfect type of running back for this game, and I just don't know what he's gonna do.
And if George Pickens don't get the ball, is he just gonna freaking start punching people, or freaking just not participating on run plays?
Who knows? But it all really depends on how bad the weather is.
Well, if
by Monday it should be gone.
It's got to come up to Mike Tomlin's got to get with his offense coaches and you say this team does not like if you run the ball against them, and it has to be Jalen Warren and Najee Harris game if Pittsburgh wants to beat the Buffalo Bills.
We will see, but I don't think anybody has the Steelers winning this game.
They can
win, but
they have to run the ball. They can't get away from running the ball. That's how you beat Buffalo. If you want to pass on them, you're playing the Buffalo strengths is passing the ball on them. Buffalo does not want you to run the ball on them. And the minute you stop running the ball on them, they're like, yeah, thank you.
Everything is, believe it or not, everything is lined up for the Steelers to win. Everything they need to happen to win. The weather is going to force it to be a running game, which the Steelers should win. It's going to slow down that passing game, which the Steelers need. Like, it should be a low offensive game, which the Steelers need. But I think Buffalo is just too good, and they're hot right now. So
I read a report earlier.
Buffalo is undefeated since they've joined Al Qaeda. So,
did you hear this story, Mike?
No.
So apparently, when Sean McDermott a few weeks ago, he was trying to talk about like bravery and perseverance, and he used Al Qaeda on 9/11 as the example of guys who were brave.
How they got together on the plane and took over the planes. How they all came together as a team. And ever since that speech, they've been undefeated. So they've been undefeated since they joined Al Qaeda.
That is wild.
I heard that story and I was like, no fucking way. No way.
You know about that story? That was the biggest story of that day.
It was unbelievable. It was unreal that's a real thing. They were just like, yep, and he had to come out and apologize for it.
He came out and apologized for it, but
he got buried under some news cycle because this is the first I'm hearing of that.
This was definitely a Twitter news cycle. It was not on the actual ESPN or anything. It was all over.
No, it was a real thing. He apologized for that. It was their last
war, and Shefty covered it. But
pull up the schedule. It was their last loss. They haven't lost since. They haven't lost since that speech. They are undefeated since they made the Al Qaeda speech.
The Broncos game. Yep.
The Broncos and McDermott made that speech.
And they blew the Jets out. They beat the Eagles.
No, wait a minute. Was it? They haven't lost. It was the Eagles game.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs. Then they beat the Cowboys. Beat the Chargers.
Yeah, they have
been on a run.
Yeah. Ever since that speech, they've been undefeated. The Eagles game after the Eagles game was the speech. Since they joined Al Qaeda, they've been undefeated.
I'm surprised you didn't hear that story, Mike. It's one of my favorite news stories of the year. That Sean McDermott really just thought that like Al Qaeda was the way to go.
It's working.
So now, like, it's still a meme. Whenever they win, they're like, "Oh, still haven't lost the game."
Well, remember when? You know what they were doing? You remember when Tyreek Hill's house caught on fire? They were saying Sean McDermott did it. Because our friend Brandon is like, why are they saying Sean McDermott did it? I said, I told him the story. I'm like, no, I'm not making this up. He joined Al Qaeda.
And then to wrap it up, Eagles at Bucks. Last time this team met in the playoffs, the Eagles got packed the fuck up by Tom Brady and the Bucks. Packed the fuck up in a game where it was not pretty, and I was like, please take this fucking shit off my TV. This game
They played earlier in a Monday night game earlier this year.
It was a good game. And the
And
Bucks feel like they could get one.
yeah,
And this
Bucks,
is the best time to play this team.
like,
This is the best time to play this team. I wonder if the line moved on this, because the line for this was Tampa +3.
Well, Baker is also questionable for the game.
He playing.
Rib and his Baker's been beat up the past couple weeks.
Baker playing. Baker not going to not play on this. They're going to play Kyle Trask.
Well,
Baker
listen.
No, the line has not moved. It is still a 3-point line. And I still am taking Bucks +3.
AJ Brown, I'm taking. Even with AJ Brown, I'm taking the Bucks because that ship is sinking. Like,
you hate the Eagles.
I'm not hating the Eagles. I'm just pointing out the facts. Is the ship not sinking?
You hate the Eagles. They're gonna win.
Is the ship not sinking? Because the problem is you got all these players fussing with each other. Let's all get together and do an escape room.
Oh, I didn't know that.
AJ Brown organized an escape room. They're losing. AJ Brown's going full blown TO to McNabb with him and Jalen Hurts. The problem, AJ Brown is not playing this game. So who are the Bucks going to focus their attention toward? Is Devontae Smith playing?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He's
We
playing?
just got a unique comment in here that we need to address. This is from 100% True. Big Mike, while I may not personally identify as gay, I support your decision to be in a relationship with a man. Everyone deserves to be loved and happy. What is this, Michael?
I don't know what this is.
Apparently, it's 100% true.
Yeah, that's a great name. That's no need to worry about the legitimacy of that comment.
I don't know, man. This is insane. Mike, I wish this was planned. I have no idea what this is, but I just saw it pop up, and I was like, this needs to be addressed.
Caught me off guard.
Caught me off guard. 100% True. Reveal thyself. Reveal thyself.
Not likely.
Yeah, what is this?
We need to speak with you. Yeah. And your false accusations about my partner.
You're gonna join AJ Brown in that escape room?
100% true.
That escape room is 100% true. You didn't know about that?
I don't even know what was going on. I saw that comment. It just took me for a fucking loop.
Well, I asked if Devontae Smith is playing that game. He's playing.
He is.
So then they only have. It's basically the Tampa Bay Philadelphia game from 2 years ago. They had to worry about Devontae Smith.
Yeah, because what the other one was J.J. Arcega-Whiteside as the other receiver, and he was garbage.
Who the hell
He
was
was terrible.
He was garbage. He was also part of that hilarious N'Keal Harry draft.
You also have to deal with White and David. And Todd Bowles is going to blitz the hell out of him. This AJ Brown.
DJ Notorious, what's going on? He's in our Instagram.
DJ,
Instagram.
hello, sir.
Uh-oh.
I see that you're in the chat. Hello.
FS who?
FS who? You owe me a wheel spin, sir.
FSU. That was just not. That wasn't a good. That didn't go good for him.
There you go, Mike. We got your get back from 100% True. Mike's one of the best, plain and simple. Nothing ruffled his feathers. Just shows what a top bloke he is. Love you, Mike. We got your back over here, Mike. We got him. And just so you know, that's 100% true.
DJ said, "I'm glad you can see podcast spot."
I wish I could see you spinning a fucking wheel. Cause pay what you're owed. Pay what's owed, sir. Rent's due.
The rent is
Clock's ticking. I should have took fucking Georgia minus fucking $1 billion because I would have won that.
You know, my favorite thing in the game was no, not in that game, but Alabama lost to Michigan, and all Florida State guys are like, "Oh, see, we could have won that game. We could have won. Oh, why didn't you try it? Keep that energy up against Georgia? Georgia, you were the only team that thought you didn't deserve to make the playoff. Georgia thought they deserved to make the playoffs too, and they came out like they wanted to and beat the shit out of them."
DJ said, "Name the time and place. You usually spin the wheel for dates, but okay."
Don't know what any of that means, but come on the show Wednesday, sir. You can spin your wheel, get your punishment, and we move.
It's the wheel of destiny.
Shout out to you, Steven, for dodging the wheel spin. Not finishing in last place.
What did I say? What was the final standings?
Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't remember from last year.
Wait, Dylan, wait. DJ said, "How about I come right now?"
Let's go. I'll get the wheel ready. He's gonna come in here and be all rah-rah. Don't matter. FSU lost by $1 billion. So
you have to do it because I can't because we're live.
okay, I will.
You have to sit. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I got it.
I'll take care of it.
Look at you, stand up guy, Mike.
In here.
Stand up guy. The wheel is ready. And the best part about this is, Steven, is I get a wheel spin from DJ, and I'll be getting another wheel spin from Anthony because Brock Purdy's not going to win MVP. This is just an all-time great. This is an all-time great time. 2024 is my year. 2024 is my year.
He's not even going to be a nominee.
He'll finish top 5. I think he'll finish top 5 in voting. He'll get a vote.
I don't know. You see some people's votes. They put Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey.
The Josh Allen.
I wasn't prepared to take over, but we're gonna have to get ready. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Josh Allen getting votes over Dak Prescott to me is funny as fuck. That's just ridiculous. I don't know.
Over Dak Prescott, I would say no, but I think both should get MVP votes.
Yes.
I wouldn't pick Josh over Dak, but I could understand you giving Josh some votes. I could definitely understand that.
Definitely not over Dak.
Josh Allen, he deserves MVP votes, but I wouldn't put him in front of Dak. He's got he accounts for 45 touchdowns on his team, running and throwing. That's Josh. That's where guys like Dan Orlovsky, he's like, "Oh, Josh Allen."
Josh played out of his mind those last 6 games, though. Like stats or no stats, he played out of his mind.
I'm not saying keep dumb Josh Allen in the game. They let dumb Josh Allen leave at halftime.
Well, it wasn't even that. We already pointed this out. He only ran 3 times in the second half.
No, that's what I'm saying. They let dumb Josh Allen leave. He was playing horrible in the first half, and then he was just like, "Oh wait, I'm Josh Allen, and not I'm Josh Allen."
DJ is loading up.
I have the on the way message on Instagram Live right now. We love this. We love this. Come and face the music.
I love it. He stands on business. That's why.
Standing on business. He's gonna come in here and complain about it and talk shit. But it don't matter because he lost.
The one thing on the fantasy football is that we got to get rid of the last week of the season. There can't be no game on there.
Week 18 is a crazy championship game.
The guy playing in the championship game has basically 6 guys on his team out because he had all Rams guys and everybody and Niners guys, all people that clinched, so they didn't play their games.
I lost half my team. on that. I was like, what do you mean Mahomes not playing? What do you mean Mahomes and Kelsey aren't playing? The fuck is this?
Before it has to end it, not the last one. Like, oh my god.
Because that shit's brutal. He's got to make sure you have just nothing but like players on losing teams.
Won that title because that second week the guy had nobody to play.
Now Mike Ortiz has to spin the wheel. The wheel of Mike. You know there he is, my friend. He's here. Hello, DJ.
What's going on, sir?
It's nice to see you.
Great to see you. Sorry, I was a little busy doing, some things in Brooklyn, but I'm here now.
No worries, man. Appreciate you for coming by.
Of course.
Waiting.
Big Mike, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
I'm here. Highly blessed, highly favored,
Mike told me about a extra stipulation you wanted to put onto this bet that he was supposed to tell me that he did not tell me.
Wow, okay.
He owned up to it last week, and it worked out because I would have 100% took it.
It worked out. It worked out.
Mike being a terrible communicator worked out.
I'm not going to touch that, but it's okay. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch that.
He was looking out for you because I was in the chat and I was like, tell DJ he owes me a wheel spin for every interval of 14 that he's in.
It was a long night. I was in Long Island for an event. He was out of town. I understand. I'll leave it at that.
No, I know what's up.
Yeah.
I know what's up. Are you ready, sir?
I mean, yeah, I see this little wheel here. That's cool. Shout out to Pat Sajak. But
do you need us to explain anything on the wheel?
You know what, sir? Why don't you do your David Muir and explain this to me?
So it is randomized, as you can see. It's going to land on something on here, which you will have to do.
Okay.
For instance, Dylan, let's do a test run. Where you would, would be doing the hot chip challenge, which I can tell you from experience is not fun. Not fun at all. Obviously, you would just eat a hot chip on air.
Okay.
And deal with that. The gallon challenge is Dylan's evil challenge. Where you
drink a gallon of milk in under 10 minutes.
Yeah, I do have to put an amendment on that due to certain things I may have involving my body. That ain't happening. Okay, that's just not happening.
Then we'll just make that a spin again.
Yes, we'll make that a spin again, definitely.
Ice bucket. You're familiar with the ice bucket challenge.
Did it back then. So yeah,
that one's probably the safest thing on the wheel.
Well, I come from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York, so nothing is safe to me. So,
shot o'clock is you're on the show, and every time, in this case for you, Dylan is the winner, so Dylan controls it. Whenever he says it's shot o'clock, you would be taking a shot on air.
Hey, not a problem. I'm a Hennessy man myself, so go ahead.
The hot gummy bear, Dylan, give me a close-up. We're not going to give them too much promo, but
here you go.
We have the world's hottest gummy bear that you would have to eat on air that Dylan is going to be eating soon.
What in the Care Bear is going on with that?
Listen, I don't know about that gummy bear. They swear that that's hell. So
I mean, you ate a chip. And the
chip's
chip
got
was
to be
hell.
worse than that. The chip's got to be worse than that.
Who knows? So that the gummy bear is concentrate. Remember that.
True.
Oh, all right.
The picture challenge would be fun too. You would have to be on air and hold a picture of Dylan for the entire episode.
That's just bad because that man bun is fucking disgusting. I'm sorry. It is fucking disgusting. Jesus, I'll have to do a lot of PR before and after this show ends.
Hey, man.
Jesus.
Egg
Jesus. Can you get a
challenge.
haircut beforehand, please?
I just got one. I'm on my Wardlow.
You sure?
Yeah.
Warlow don't even look like that right now, but okay.
Not anymore. He got a haircut.
Yes. All right, so what's the other here?
Egg challenge is you would have a dozen eggs. You would have a spoon. You would be on the show with a spoon in your mouth, balancing the egg, and this would continue until you run out of eggs. That one was actually a lot funnier than we thought it was going to be.
So that's literally like ball control. Okay, cool. We're playing the program.
Yes.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Sushi challenge is you having to eat a certain amount of sushi, I believe, in a certain amount of time, or just a dollar amount.
I think it's just an amount.
Just an amount of sushi. So
we might have to make that a spin again, but okay.
and I'm not gonna lie, DJ, the one I'm kind of rooting for, the TikTok dance video where Dylan will pick a TikTok dance challenge that you would have to perform, record, and then it'll go up on our Instagram page.
Can I put it up on mine too? Can I do that?
Of course.
You absolutely can.
I definitely would. Listen, there's no shame in my game. I would.
Of course,
do
you're gonna hit that renegade, friend.
Man, listen. I'll show you about that 1-2 step. That's not a problem.
Hey, good thing it won't be that.
So
fine by me.
So as with the tradition, these are the ones. Let's play that Undertaker music, man.
Not scared, man. Not scared. Born and raised in Brooklyn, I'm not scared.
Oh,
Too many people are getting ice buckets.
Too many people are getting this ice bucket challenge.
Told you, I was not worried.
Too many people are getting. I think it's time to take the ice bucket off.
Might be time.
We have three ice buckets.
3 ice buckets. All right. So
you'll just have to record that ice bucket and send it in, and we'll play that on the air.
That is not a problem. You made a whole big thing about this. I would like to give a shout out to the Seminoles. You know, they looked out for me in the end there with that challenge. So I know they had something to do with that. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
They did you dirty.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, no, his barber did him dirty up there at Podcast Bobby. Did him dirty. You need to fix that. Seriously. That looks bad.
You're coming from a place of hate.
No, it looks
You're
bad.
coming from a place of hate.
It looks
It's
bad.
all right.
I mean, have you seen that movie? There's something about Mary, because you got a whole lot of that going on up there.
Listen, like I said, you're
Just
coming
saying.
from a place of hate.
I mean, Big Mike, all I gotta say is how many inches is that up there? Pause.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Don't look too good there, all right? Doesn't look too good there. And I'm sorry, where are my manders? Hello, Viper. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right. Not much, man.
Coming from a place of hate. It's not my fault you guys lost by 1 billion.
Okay, Ben.
I know if you only lost by 7, it would be a completely different story.
It's okay, Ben.
Lost by 1 billion.
It's okay.
I
mean, I was going to shoot for Florida State, but you know, my age doesn't work with that. But yeah, it was at that point. It's okay though. It's all right.
It's all right. Thank you for challenging for a wheel spin and losing said wheel spin. I appreciate you.
Not a problem, guys. You will have that video within a week.
Hell yeah. You're much better than everybody else who owes something on this wheel.
Oh wow, we talking more than a week?
Anthony
owes me a hot gummy bear from March Madness of last year.
Isn't March just about 60? You know what? Never mind. No.
He's about
7 days. You'll have it.
And he's still ducking this gummy bear. He's still ducking this gummy bear. It's been almost a year.
So you know what? I think what should happen here, especially if I send in mine within a week, which I will, and he hasn't done it since last year, he should have to do 3 gummy bears. If he doesn't have it in by championship,
we may end up putting him in the hospital if he does that. I feel like we do need to put a statute limitations before you get punished.
Maybe an ice bucket challenge on that too. I guess
He owes us one.
He owes an ice bucket challenge.
So what else does this man
He
owe?
owes us an ice bucket challenge from April.
But he owes us an ice bucket challenge.
So what's he? What else is left on the wheel for him?
Right. Has he done a hot
He
chip?
may default have to do the TikTok dance.
He owes Gummy. He owes an ice bucket. He owes me and Dylan a dinner. He's gonna owe Dylan another wheel spin in a few weeks when Brock Purdy doesn't win MVP. Since he took Brock Purdy versus the field. So
forgot about that one. I really forgot about that one.
So I mean, what's good, Dukes?
Your boy is undefeated in wheel spins in 2024.
He is yeah, it's not looking good. We're gonna have to start cleaning up.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Lamar.
Rent is due, Anthony. Rent is due. Rent is past due. We're about to be dealing out eviction notices, sir.
Jeez.
Get out.
Jeez. I mean, it's not that hard. Just get it done.
It's not, but the problem is he's holding the rest of us up because Roz refuses to do his. I'm not doing mine until he does his. So
I also have to do hot gummy. I have it, but there's no way I'm eating this hot gummy before this motherfucker does.
Well, since he needs to be cooled off and he's got to do a hot gummy,
we already presented that idea.
Yep,
at the same time.
Same time, it'll cool him right off.
Because if he were to eat his gummy on the show, I would have mine right here and do it the same time as him.
Which was what was presented, and here we are.
So you mean to tell me that pitches and catches report in about 5 weeks, and he still has not?
We're about to be doing our next March Madness bracket.
Yeah, because conference. Jeez, wow. The dates just keep on coming. Wow. Big Mike, how did you allow this?
Yeah, it's like as Dylan said, rent is due.
Anthony is what we call a coward. When the times get tough, Anthony runs.
That's just too much. I mean, as tribute, I should just hold up mine until he does his. I didn't know he had that much of a backstock on these, issues.
And he'll sit there and deflect to the chat and then be like, Dylan, you have to eat your gummy bear. I'm like, motherfucker, you have to eat yours. You have to eat yours.
Oh man. So you know what? I'm going to do mine within a week. I will do it from the confines here of Westchester County, and I will not only give it to you guys, but I'll post it on my social media as well. So, I'm a man of my word.
DJ. A good man.
Gentleman
man of honor and integrity. Not like this dickhead Anthony.
Yeah, not like that. I did not know there was a whole grocery list of stuff he hasn't done yet. That's crazy.
Rent's due.
DJ, you got any predictions for tomorrow?
Well, I did say on social media, I guess you could say yesterday now, 3 teams will be losing this weekend. The Chiefs wanted to be stupid and not give me that loss. But tomorrow we're going to get a comedy show because it's that time of the year again where the Cowboys give you that late Christmas gift where they're going to lose.
Sounds like
again. They're going to lose.
Speaking from hating.
No, okay. So we basically figured out that Viper is a Cowboys fan. No, I understand, Viper. It's okay. This happens every year. Y'all get nervous.
No, I don't get nervous. Win a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, they're not winning tomorrow. They're just not going to do it. Isn't Green Bay going to be the first team ever as a 7 seed to advance?
Yes, 2 seed has never won since they got rid of the bye. Mm-hmm. The 2 seed has won every time.
Yeah, well, today is going to be a different day.
Hear that, by the way. It's not like, the 7 seed has never existed for 7 years.
It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Jordan Love is going to have probably his best game of his career. And, yeah, we'll be talking about Dak doing Dak things once again. And I just want to know how they're going to lose this time. Are they going to forget about the rule? They're going to throw another interception. That's probably obvious. How's it going to work this time?
Have you been watching this year?
Okay, this is the same thing every year.
No.
Okay, so so the game starts at 4:30 Eastern, right? So about 7:15-ish. Should I hit you up and be like, you want to talk about those 5 Super Bowl wins, or are you gonna blame the refs, or which one is it?
I don't ever blame that. You think I'm them?
I'm just saying.
I'm a level-headed Cowboys fans. I can tell you why they lost. I watched the game.
No, I mean that's perfectly fine. I watch them all year, and they're a comedy every single playoffs, and I'm gonna get my comedy. Who says the shows don't come back tomorrow? Because we're gonna get one tomorrow.
So that must be the comedy.
No, actually, I am a Giants fan, but we know what happens every single year in January. The Cowboys lose.
And Dak's your daddy.
No, Dak is not my daddy because what I heard, Brock Purdy is his daddy.
Dak's your daddy because when's the last time you beat him? You haven't beat Dak since 2016.
You haven't won a Super Bowl since America Online was prominent.
Who else hasn't won a Super Bowl since that long?
Okay, 1997. The Giants have won twice, if you don't remember.
The Dolphins have won longer than us. Who else? The Jets longer than us.
But you know what? This is the difference between those teams, and I hate the Jets too, so that's fine. But the difference between that is that you guys are the most hated fan base. Pout your chest out come September, and then January want to wither around like nothing ever happened.
You're confusing me with somebody else.
No, that is your Cowboys fan base. Tell them to quiet down because we know what's happening tonight. It's okay.
They'll lose to San Francisco in the next 2 rounds, but they're not losing it.
Okay. So just Big Mike, Poppy, just send me his number around 7:15 Eastern.
Don't worry, we'll be live Sunday night.
We'll be here live tomorrow night.
Okay. I will be right here. I'm just gonna look at you like, didn't I tell you?
I'm gonna be looking for you.
The Cowboys never doubt me every time.
I never picked them to win the Super Bowl.
I'm not even talking about the Super Bowl. They just lose every year. I just want to know how they're going to do it this time. Sure. What creative are they going to do this time? Because they're creative in losing. I'll tell you that much.
What are they going to do?
What they're going? Okay, they forgot about the rule book one year. Okay, we'll give them that. They can't beat George Kittle to save their life. So, do you really want to go to the next round? Which way is it going to be?
They wouldn't face the Niners until the championship game.
And we know they're not making it that far. Like, let's just cut it out. Not even in Madden. Like, let's just stop.
See now,
would you like to put another wheel spin on this?
You know what? I will double down on it. Spin the wheel again.
I will take that bet. I will take Cowboys, Green Bay Packers wheel spin. Cowboys win. You're spinning again.
Yes, I'll do it. Hands down.
What?
Hands down. Easy. Easy.
So. When the Cowboys win,
I'll take another
wheel. Will you be apologizing?
Absolutely not. I will never apologize for the Cowboys sucking. No.
If they win, then they didn't suck.
It sounds like
no. I will not apologize to the Cowboys.
But you'd be wrong, so you'd be apologizing for being wrong.
Yo,
no, I will not apologize for that. Sorry, won't happen.
So
I just think it's really funny.
Just think about this. Just think about this for an example.
Prescott.
No, let's just think about this for a second. The Dallas Cowboys have not been prominent since the Notorious B.I.G. was assassinated. They have not been prominent since Soul Food was out in theaters. You guys are horrible in the playoffs.
What is prominent?
At least the Giants.
Are you just talking about just winning Super Bowls, or are you talking about being consistently good? Because they're consistently good.
Yes, consistently good until December.
In the script, like I want to hear something new.
It's not scripts off the internet. It's facts. The last time they were prominent was 97. It's not hard to figure out.
Okay, Stephen A. Smith.
I'm far from Stephen A. Smith. I'm not from Hollis, Queens. I'm sorry.
So,
and I'm not 175 pounds. I'm sorry. I'm actually 240. But and I have a beard. So
I've heard before.
It's okay. I understand it. You're getting uptight. It's that day of the game. I get it. You're a little nervous. It's cool. I understand.
I provide football.
We're going to talk about this come 7:15 p.m.
Talking from hate.
It's not hate. What is hate of 25
you came in here off rip for hate.
No, well, that's just something different. That's
you came in here off rip.
I want to hear something football-wise that explains why they lose the game, not because of it's Cowboys. They do Cowboy stuff. Cowboys too competitive.
I'm sorry. Have we been living under a rock for over 20 years? Do they not do this every year? This is something that they do. It's like the New York Mets. Come July, they fall out. It just happens. Not their fault, but it happens.
Well, you can literally say that about every team.
Not necessarily. No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
You can.
I mean, I want to ask you guys this. How many of y'all actually had Houston actually winning by that much today?
I had them winning. I didn't have them winning by fucking 30.
Yeah.
But I had them
winning
winning
as well.
I had them winning. It wasn't a shock to me for Houston to do that.
Now that's going to be the problem there because they're playing with house money at this point. Because who thought they would actually be in the playoffs, let alone have more than 5 wins this year?
At the beginning of the year,
I
no.
didn't.
At the beginning of the year, no.
Yeah,
no one had them at the beginning of the year.
As the year got going, then it was like, okay, this is real.
Right.
But no, I also think Houston can beat Baltimore.
You know what, Poppy? We're actually in agreement because I think they can.
I think they can. I don't know if they will, but I think they can. I think it's going to be a closer game than people realize. I wouldn't be shocked.
Wouldn't be. You can't be shocked on that. They know how to play. It's just the only thing that holds Houston back because they're young and dome team playing in the weather in Baltimore.
Yeah, the weather can be an issue, especially with I could hear another snowstorm of some sort coming around the Northeast. So
Miami tonight, they did not want to play in that. They couldn't wait to
Not
get.
at all.
They could not wait to get the fuck on a plane to get the fuck out of there.
pretty much that was hard to see.
No,
Hard to see.
it was great.
It was awesome.
It was great.
No, it's just hard to see a talent like that. Tyreek Hill he had his one play, which was great, by the way, but Kansas City's Kansas. I'm just tired of seeing Taylor Swift on my damn TV screen. I'm just tired of it.
I as well.
Okay.
Fuck Taylor Swift. And
Taylor Swift and swag surfing should not go together at all. At all.
Not at all.
Okay? That is not for her at all. Sorry. No.
because I really love swag surfing. I was really pissed.
I was just like, okay, they're swag, they surf, and I'm like, Taylor, just killed it. Just killed it right there. I was like, I don't like to dance no more. I don't. Nope. It's over. Nope. So, but no, it should be pretty good next week though. But yes, definitely got the Lions beating the Rams and Cowboys losing.
Hey, DJ on my team. Lions win.
Yeah, Lions are going to win. It will be a shootout, I think, though, but
it's going to be
Montgomery and Gibbs, man. Montgomery and Gibbs. And who's stopping Hutchinson?
You are making no friends in here, DJ, at all.
Right. So let me get. So, Viper, you're going for the Rams? You want to go with Aaron Donald? Is that what it is?
No, that's not why I'm going. Because of McVay, he knows Jared Goff. Everything about him. Coach him off the team. Lions, Laporta, if he's going to play, he's hurt. That's a big part of their offense. You don't trust Jared Goff. The Lions' defense is terrible. And you got Matt Stafford healthy, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua coming.
That's good. Who's stopping Hutchinson?
Who's stopping Aaron Donald?
Hutch, you have a two-powered attack. I'm sorry. I have to go with the offensive line of the Lions there. Sewell and the rest of them, they're going to handle their business. I don't see them losing that battle. I don't.
But Hutchinson is the one guy you have to block. We've seen it before when Hutchinson is the only one that is the only pass rusher they have and they could not generate pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They got
but
blown.
Also, now, I would be more inclined to go with the Rams if it was at SoFi. Matthew Stafford has horror stories in Detroit.
Matt Stafford is Detroit.
Well,
Matt Stafford is the greatest quarterback to ever play in Detroit.
He's going to have a nightmare.
Nobody has ever won more games in that arena than
Has
Matt
he won
Stafford.
playoff games?
Has anybody on this current Lions team won a playoff game?
That's going to change tomorrow night.
No one alive has ever won a playoff game.
Exactly.
There's never been a game.
Exactly. There's never been a game in here. But I tell you what, if you think that crowd is going to boo Matt Stafford, you're a crazy person.
Yes, they are. They're going to boo
Detroit
him.
loves Matt Stafford.
They're going to boo him because he stands in their way of advancing. He's going to get booed.
He's going to get a tribute video, and he's going to.
He's not. This is not a regular season game. This is the playoffs. All that's out the window.
The Rams
don't
playing
put it past them.
The Rams don't have home field advantage even in SoFi. The Rams are one of those teams, after the Chargers, when they play in LA, they don't have a home field. So it doesn't matter.
Detroit does travel very well. One of the few teams are going with the Cowboys as well, but no.
This is the closest thing the Rams will get to a home game because of Matt Stafford and how Detroit fans love Matt Stafford.
49ers in SoFi, that the whole fans in the stands is red. They have no fans in LA.
When Matt Stafford got traded, every Lions fan was just doing thank you videos. That's all it was. They don't hate him.
He did, but remember, this is the playoffs. This is not like week 7. Okay, he's going to get booed. He is the enemy. He is the op. That's it. You must beat him.
He's not the op. That's the thing. He's not the op.
Guess what? If y'all
Matt
start
Stafford
playing,
is the only one who is not the op.
Don't go in there and just start giving this man's credit because next thing you know, it might be 21-zip. We don't need that. He is the op. He is your enemy. Beat him.
If they give a tribute video to him,
Rams by $1 billion.
No.
If he gets a tribute video, Rams by $1 billion.
The fans are like, oh man. They're not going to know how to act.
The only thing worse that could happen is if Barry Sanders himself came back to play, and then it's like, shit.
Any other team besides the Rams, they were going to
win.
Be rowdy.
Anybody but the Rams because they have the one.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
The one kryptonite in that Detroit home field advantage is Matt Stafford.
I'm not saying that the Detroit fans do not love Matt Stafford for all the hard-working years that he put in for the team. Yes, we get that. However, this is the playoffs. The whole
doesn't know how
is over.
The playoffs.
Oh, they're going to act a fool.
And regular season, what you've done through the regular season always shows up. It follows you throughout the whole season, and it'll follow you in the playoffs. The one thing about the Lions, I don't trust them. Their defense is terrible.
And Dan Campbell is going to go for it on 4th down 5 times.
Does anybody here disagree that your defense is terrible?
I wouldn't say it's terrible because I've seen worse.
This year?
Yeah, I've seen worse.
There's only one team that's worse.
I've seen worse.
And it's Washington.
Like I said, I've seen worse.
That's the only one I can argue that is worse.
And that's before and after they traded their bookend defensive ends. Before and after that.
And Detroit's like what, 27th in defense?
Yeah, they're fucking bad.
That's why I said this game is going to be a shootout. It's going to be. Both got high-powered offenses. They both do. One has 2 running backs that can go at it. The other one has 1, but of course the bookend wide receivers. So it's going to be a shootout. I got it 38-35 being the Lions. So, but the Lions are going to have the ball last.
I don't know how the Lions are going to go for a field goal. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
No, see, do you hear this, Mike? Do you hear this?
Well, we have a bet tomorrow. We have a bet over under
4.5.
4.5. How many times the Lions are going to go for it on 4th down?
Wow, I have to go with the under.
The under. I take the under.
You guys watch Dan Campbell coach, and you think he's going to go for it under 4.5 times?
Yeah.
In the first home playoff game ever?
I'm almost inclined to be like, he's going to, the second the first 4th down happens, he's going to go for it. Just to be like, I'm pussy? Because whenever he sees 4th down, he throw common knowledge out the window. I'm going for it.
It can't be a field goal game because the Rams have the worst special teams. That's where it can't be. It can't come down to special teams.
No, honestly, the Rams will have to keep scoring no matter what because we've seen already that both offense can score real quick. So whoever doesn't keep up will definitely be losing this game. And you don't want to be playing catch-up.
Which Jared Goff are you going to get?
I'm telling you guys, you're going to get the Jared Goff that was doing his thing this season. Besides a couple of some horrible games, Thanksgiving game in particular. But
you want to talk about the Cowboys doing Cowboy shit. Jared Goff does Jared Goff shit.
Oh no, the Cowboys are on a whole nother level.
Yeah, but like if we're going to talk about like keeping the status quo, if we're talking about keeping the status quo, Jared Goff be doing Jared Goff shit.
He's had his instances, especially this season. I'm not gonna lie. He has a
In his entire career.
couple of times this season I really wanted to throw my, remote at the TV, but
everything about that quarterback. He's the one that pulled the triggers. I can't win with this guy. I need Matt Stafford.
Matt fucking Stafford.
Okay.
We're gonna see.
This is gonna be fun.
Yes, and on that note, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up because we're gonna be here tomorrow going into Wildcard Sunday. We're not gonna be live Monday, even though the Bills getting moved because they're in the blizzard of a fucking lifetime. Hope everybody's safe over there. Thank you for all the commenters. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, DJ, for gracing us with your presence. Appreciate you. Love to see you on tomorrow night or tonight at this point because it is now tomorrow. Yes. Take care, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow.